Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy VG Race right here. Welcome to the second episode of the EyeonEsports podcast, also known as Between the Lanes. I'm sitting here with my boy King, having muted up until I get this intro done. Uh, Tonight, guys, we'll be covering a lot of cool stuff tonight. But before us, I bring in my boy, the guy who carried me all the way out of bronze, the guy who makes me feel a whole lot better about my life every day I get to talk to him. You know him, you love him. You see, the creator of the Ion Esports brand, Mr. King X Prime.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's your boy King X Prime here. Ladir, Ducati, King, Arrows, Williams, joined by my main man here, Mr. Ian Race Crown White. So we're going to be talking a little about League of Legends. We're going to talk about other sports. We're going to be talking about the things that are going on right now with video games, video gaming. It's our time, during this pandemic. We're taking the opportunity and time to really just be here, put out some content, and hopefully you guys enjoy it and are able to, enjoy the show.
That being said, let us first get into the first thing on my agenda, since I am the sim racer of the community, I want to throw this out here. A lot of Nielsen report threw out the iRacing is it eSports Pro Invitational. Broke his own record last week for the highest rated eSport broadcast on network television. Granted, we're talking, but for this type of event, we had a point 0.81 rating with over nearly 1.4 million people watching for that 2 hour race, start to finish. Bringing in the best of the all three series of the world. Timmy Hill, who's actually an iRacer, who actually is an iRacer, who won with the most cheapest setup in the world. So shout out to us, cheap boys, for bringing it home. Versus the folks who spent $40,000 on a setup.
No, I mean, I think this kind of goes to show, and I think this will be the overall discussion or the overall kind of point of this episode, where we're talking about esports, video games, its impact in a growing digital world, especially now and here with social distancing being key, major sporting events all being postponed, suspended, or canceled. We're finding that more and more communities are moving to online platforms, and there's no better platform than the video game industry at this current time. We've been kind of prepped and ready for a situation like this. We've been in a position. We've put ourselves in a position to be able to basically thrive during a time where so many other industries are struggling to find and figure out a way to take care of themselves and take care of the people that they're beholden to.
Yeah, I was about to pull up some numbers, but apparently it got taken down on the forums. But tonight, the World Outlaws, which is the highest rated dirt racing, also had another FS1 event tonight. A lot of people are really enjoying it, and actually I've checked Twitter. It's actually it was trend. It wasn't trending thanks to the mask. Fox showed the mask singer, but it showed a great amount. It showed a great amount of content. For those who don't know, iRacing covers four different disciplines, both oval and road, but mostly including short track, paid short track, your NASCAR content, your late models, all that going up. Road racing from F1, IndyCar, which does both road and oval. It's one of the few open wheel cars to do both, outside of Pro Mazda. It's at IMSA, which is sport car racing. ILMS, which is a endurance racing, sports car racing. Your local club sports, your Miatas of the world, global Cup Mazdas of the world. You know, your sport club, going to dirt racing, which is Florida Outlaws. The top end sprint car racing, dirt street stocks, and rallycross and stadium trucks. So for those who ever seen stadium trucks, check out a lot of stuff they do in Australia, where they have these stadium trucks racing on road courses with little like metal jumps and actually doing actual metal jumps while racing. A lot of fun. Thanks to
And
LucasArts.
that brings me back to the point in discussion here, where um, you're seeing uh, you're seeing people find their way to esports, or they're finding their way to digital media, they're finding their way to video game content because they really want people still want to be entertained, people still want to be engaged, they still want to enjoy the world, but we're in a point right now where things have slowed down. So it only makes sense that they would pivot to something which is, same but different, same but different. Where we're seeing, yeah, it's true. Um, NASCAR is shut down, but iRacing is still available. I would parallel. I know the NBA is shut down, but a game like League of Legends, which is a 5v5, there's multiple positions that all have a role very similar, to basketball in a way. There aren't large sporting events like boxing or UFC, but yeah, you can have they're still holding Smash Brothers competition, Smash Brothers tournament, and with any game company right now would follow the Blizzard Activision model and release release a game for free. I know I've been playing a ton of Call of Duty Warzone, and I find games like this, like that. I find the lobby. I mean, it's a large file, but regardless, they struck while while the iron was hot. They're they're utilizing the situation that they have now to be able to try and do better in the here and now and to do better for the future. I think that by setting themselves up to take advantage of what's going on now, they're actually putting themselves in a position where us, people who are already in the game community, people who are already a part of gamers, gaming, nerds, whatever you want to call us, are already here. And they're just going to bring in more people to validate and see that, hey, this whole time that people have been kind of, you know, shouting down or saying, hey, this isn't a legitimate thing, we're finding out that, hey, it is. And it kind of feels good to be here and in the space.
Oh, I just finally got the article from the thank you East yeah, check this out, the esports observer. The esports observer.com it's a wonderful website, free website that allows people to get esports news and whatnot. Ladies and gentlemen, this bring it up. I'm gonna bring it up and try to slide it over the camera real quick.
I was just gonna say your bandwidth or something, it just keeps on lagging a bit. So some of your words are connecting.
Oh, it does that anyway because I'm trying to spiel through. But for those who didn't know, the eNASCAR Pro Invitational, which is the NASCAR pros from the all three touring levels of NASCAR, the top three touring levels of NASCAR. That's now the NASCAR Cup Series, the Xfinity Series, which is step below, and the and now the and now the Truck Series. All three of those all three of those series are getting a chance to compete in iRacing, and it's invitational. These races are short, 2 hour stints, so that way you can get in and out without people getting bored. Fox Sports combined earned a combination of 0.8, 1.33 ratings on this last Sunday's race. And the reason why this is so important for me, the NASCAR fan, is the fact that this is now getting is combining. Like I said earlier, it's combining. It's getting one. It's the only sport event on Sundays. So instead of people watching old replays of games, you're now seeing live action. People are actually looking at this like this is pretty cool, and iRacing is now getting more eyeballs. Which for a sim racer like myself, I know I'm trying to bore everyone on sim racing, but when more people pay attention to sim racing, that allows for more content for all the communities, especially the road community. That quite frankly, they're not they're not always friendly due to the bureaucracy they have to face.
So what's your stance on games like Gran Turismo then, with
Gran
their
Tur-
professional series?
Oh, Gran Turismo is dope, but it's a it's just a different type of sim racing.
Hmm.
Gran Turismo sport is and out really great console based sim racing league, so the Forza League. But it's because of the fact that at the hardcore level, it pretty much drives like iRacing. The
Hmm.
rules are like iRacing where you have no help. If you screw up with that car, throttle management, brake management, you are done. Period.
So you're saying essentially the console based racing games are more tuned to casual play to an extent. It's more of a like even though they do have their competitive metrics, the competitive nature.
It
There's
it's totally
some
different. It's a
given
totally
given
different thing.
assistances compared to iRacing.
iRacing doesn't allow for many assists on the pro level. The pro
Mhm.
drivers in the Invitational, they went from 2 to 1 fast repair. The rest of us, if we screw up outside of D class, outside of D class, 4.0 D class, which is C class, you don't get any fast repairs. So if you do something stupid, you will pay for it. It is about as easy as blowing flat flash on Faker at 3 minutes before 3 minutes. You're probably going to die. And you gonna see the jungle. You and Faker and his jungler gonna have a 3-way call, and you the one gonna be losing. Cause if you give Faker a flash before 3 minutes, it's over with.
Yeah, that's definitely for sure. Definitely. Did you want to add anything else about the iRacing or the transition from NASCAR kind of going all in into iRacing?
They've been all in. It was like thanks to like Dale Jr., who's probably one of the most famous sons of NASCAR, because his dad died at Daytona 2001 in turn 3 and 4 in Daytona. The 20th anniversary will be, I believe, is next year. So this is gonna be
Mhm.
like he died in 2001. So it'll be 20 years since Dale Jr. died. Dale Sr.
That's
died,
crazy.
and because of that, he has forced the sport to change completely on how they do safety. These cars are
Okay.
safer now. If you saw the wreck of Ryan Newman at Daytona 500 when we still had it before coronavirus took over, that wreck was bad. Is it Wednesday? He was walking out of the he's riding on the same hospital Dale Senior died in. Walked out on his own power, no crutches, holding his baby girls. That just shows you how far we have come since then. Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
yelling.
that's excellent. Huh?
Sorry, I was yelling.
Yeah, no, I hope that I have the settings, the audio settings set up so it doesn't blow out people. I don't think you were redlining on my side.
I should be redlining on mine, but yeah, we done all that. We got to do that. He got to walk away, which Dale Senior didn't get a chance to do.
Yeah.
The middle
I
in
mean, it kind of shows now bringing up the safety of the matter, since we're kind of in a situation now where we're seeing more, since it is completely digital, social distancing and all, and being, conscious of trying to minimize and lessen this whole pandemic thing going on here in the States and globally. There's what's the how should I put it? What is the chances of someone getting hurt while they are in an iRacing rig or sitting at home in their office space, living room, den, study, computer room, man cave?
Oh, I'm supposed to answer. Oh,
Yeah, I'm asking
oh,
like comparatively.
it said unless you are unless you have more than the CDC recommendation, you have a motion rig, and you forget to put your seatbelt on because there's some motion rigs out there
Okay,
that will
all
send you
right,
that
like
was
the ones that like sit and like go like that and stuff like that. They look like
mhm.
mechanical bulls.
or
Those are pretty cool. I've seen those. Those are really
or
cool.
you're racing in VR and you get wrecked. You'll be
Like
living, but you
like
might
you
be
run into a wall.
or you get wrecked and you get sent up straight up in the air because iRacing physics on the ground are perfect, but once you get somehow airborne, you can get launched you get
Uh,
launched.
gotcha,
We're
gotcha.
we're we're, we're like goodbye. It's a goodbye, sir.
That's funny.
Cause
All
it,
right.
unless you get seizures, colors like I said, in VR, you get the headset on. You're really immersive in it. The point where if you get wrecked, if your car is flipping, the vision point you'll see is the car flipping, and you may or may not regurgitate what you had or
Yeah.
may not had in your stomach.
All right. Well, I think we've talked about iRacing and its impact with NASCAR for
And
long enough.
that's not even the best. That's not even the best part. IndyCar is NSNBC is doing IndyCar challenge. So now they're stepping up. The road community is about to do their own challenge. Like everything racing is moving to sim racing and iRacing because it's the highest quality. And now we can move on. I had to make sure I threw
Uh,
that part out there first, and we move on.
Works for me. Today marks the 10.7 patch in League of Legends. So instead of just kind of going doing a rundown of the patch, I just want to kind of pick your brain on how do you feel this not because I mean we're getting close to the mid-season point. It would be the mid MSI or the mid-season break. That's normally 10.10 or the point 10 or the point 11.
It's generally
Uh
8 or 9.
well, the season goes to 24 and the mid-season patch is normally during playoffs. Playoffs is what next week, week after.
Yeah, but we don't know what Riot's going to do. And for is it for play? We know what they're going to do for playoffs, but international competition is probably not going to happen due to
Yeah.
Corona. And because as you said earlier, is it server agency? I think's the term you used last time we talked about this. Where say if the tournament's hosted in EU, me being the example of me ever being challenger enough to compete, is going to have a hard time connecting from here to Europe. Your forward Tyler used to play before he moved. He used to play from Europe to NA. He had
Yeah.
the ping rate was really high.
He's playing from Germany to NA, and while he was playing with us, it was difficult for him to keep up when it came to
Mastiff.
ping discrepancy. Um,
You,
and everyone's always there. My Smurf is diamond. My Smurf is diamond. And I remember because I mean I didn't have any reason to not believe him, but he had said that on his main he was like platinum at the time, like his actual German account he's like platinum or high plat one, plat two, and this is years ago now. And then when he finally came to the states, he got diamond in like 3 months. So it's one of those things where yeah, the ping difference will severely make a difference, especially if you're talking about attempting to hold international tournaments while people are still in their
home countries.
locations of yeah. I was gonna say resident countries are locations of origin. Um,
So, and we found out in League of Legends, the players union said here is found they loved King's hashtag. He says delete spring split, and somebody said, "Nah, fam."
I wanted to talk about that a little bit pertaining to the whole Team Liquid double lift situation because yes, I am and have been a double lift fanboy for a very long time, but I had already you can go back and look at episode one, which was months ago at this point, where the whole discussion came up of my idea to delete the spring split, get rid of the spring split, because I didn't feel it was necessary, especially after Riot made the uh, announcement that that the spring split wasn't going to garner any type of points towards Worlds. It essentially became a throwaway season, or throwaway split. And now that was my original idea or whatever. Double lift becomes unmotivated, uh and I kind of vibe with that. Like when you don't have anything to work towards, when you don't have a goal, when you don't have a purpose, it does become difficult to push yourself, to find the drive, to find the motivation to do things. And that's just human nature. Why do people go to day in and day out, 9 to 5, drag them down jobs? It's because the job facilitates something else that they are passionate about, whether it's a goal, dream, hobby, whether it's your family life, whether it's societally, like things
or
that you're trying to accomplish.
the ability to have light in your house.
I mean, again, whatever your motivation is your motivation. But these professional players, as we're seeing, it seems to vary greatly depending on the region. You have North America, who when the players union now, because now this is the third stage with after the double lift and all the issues and them benching him and Team Liquid not being able to make playoffs and all this other stuff. Uh, the players union held a vote to cancel the spring split, but they were overruled by Riot, I believe, even though the majority of the players union decided to vote against it, against those spring split, because they felt that it wasn't worth anything, citing, during this pandemic, that it would be disadvantageous for them to continue to play or to continue to try to do, because right now, every major region is holding scrims as tournament play. Everybody's playing from their designated. Some, like, in, I think in Korea, some players are playing from home, and some players are playing from an office. I think that depends on where you fall in the hierarchy. Like, I'm pretty sure Faker is playing in his house, but, like, I don't know, one of the newer rookies on, like, Hanwha or something is probably just playing, or they're all playing in a group in the office or something like that. So I think it's interesting. And then you have your players that are in, like, Europe, like EU, like your Caps and your all of G2, players from, Mad Lions. Everyone has given their motivation to just kind of be like, I want to play because playing League of Legends gives me purpose. It gives me drive. And just the sheer fact that I can play during this time where everything else is shutting down, I find the different, like, dichotomies in which people's, like, mental outlook on League of Legends is very interesting. I feel that North America is kind of touting or showing its kind of entitlement to be like, well, now I don't wanna, it's like, but why? It's kind of what I want to know. It's like, why? And I know you're not a NA pro or anything, but do you have any thoughts on the matter?
I found it. I just found your article. Thank you, dot eSports for finding this for me. It was posted 9 days ago that out of the 90 pros, two thirds of the group reported the voted season to be canceled, and they cited this last week. League of Legends phones they cited this about the fact that they didn't know if they wanted the season to go on due to Corona. Uh, this is after suspension, you know. But despite that, he returned to online format, yada yada yada. But it says that this players union, as you said, you posted, said that they want to delete, prior to the fact that there is no wait. As you said, there's no wait. Me, I thought we can make Stream Straight matter again if you invite if League and Riot decided to. Why don't you go back to what your stomping grounds and maybe maybe make an incentive for some of these teams in this online ladder shot to go out and play. Now, granted, would they get their butt waxed, dog walk, as we say? Probably. But would it not reward, some of these folks out? We're getting to see some best of competitions. Maybe send them back to IEM, send them back to ESL IEM events, send them back to is it go back and come see can you rebuild that bridge with MLG, bring some of those events back, allow some of your pros to go your teams when it's safe. Not now, don't do it now. When it's safe, you have to compete. Go out, let them compete in these online tournaments, and then let them become refreshed into the spring split, and then let MSI be like let it be like the big preseason tournament before you get into let MSI be like the culmination of championship points out of these tournaments. So like in
Yeah,
golf, where you have like
I mean,
you can sign up for events in golf, all like there's until the FedEx Cup. Because you can sign up and play in different events where you want to or not. You have the choice to. But you gain all these championship points, and that way you have your major, or you have the end of the year major for the points championship for the FedEx Cup championship. All those points you added up matter. So and then especially you take that to MSI, so now you have all these teams with the point standings in there, and then the MSI board now kicks in even more because now you can actually guarantee your side in. And I would
I
do this
mean,
one.
the conversation that you're having is about a spring split in the future. I
Yes.
mean, in the here and now, and I mean that's great, fine and dandy, but since we're in the here and now, gonna have to rein it back in and talk about what's going on now. There's there's no there's no way to have these international competitions. There's no way to have these international events in our current predicament. We have to, and the only, I mean, they're literally postponing the Olympic till next year. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So we're at a place in time. We're at a place in society. We're at a place in history where I don't think we've been ready to venture in a very, very long time because yeah, it is something that's new. It is something that's different. It's something that's a little scary.
For many of us, we never lived through a was it many people like I know Memphis history. We had the yellow fever in the earlier 19th century and the 20th century did a lot of damage in Memphis. And a lot of people died because of the yellow fever. But we've never grown through a pandemic like this for many across the country in a long period of time since before someone helped us create the pot gave the vaccine for smallpox and all is it is it since vaccine we haven't seen that in a long time and a lot of people are getting trapped in their house. They had nothing to do. That's why we went. That's why this. I'm glad we had to shoot the show tonight because ev- ev- everyone is right now is on the internet. There's a lot of people now. A lot of bandwidth being taken up by people because they're sitting at home watching cat videos or watching their favorite new show that they never thought they ever watch on Hulu or Netflix or seeing the new episodes of the final season of Clone Wars, the last great Star Wars show to ever be on Cartoon Network. Some good days, man. Including now people even watch the entire run of Steven Universe because the show ended last Friday. Watch the entire show, like all this stuff. People now get the opportunity to watch. They're spending more time at home. They're watching the news. If unless you have a job like me that says that at 9 o'clock in the morning I gotta be up cleaning aircrafts, changing laboratories on said aircraft, and then Saturday and Saturday I'm putting water on certain aircraft. Unless I got a job like that where I'm essential, most people are stuck at home. Now there's supposed to be a C period for some people if they have to work from the office or not. But a lot of most folks are unemployed, getting home, waiting for that stimulus check to hit. You know, but that's the subject for another day. But you get the point I'm making here is there's a lot of stuff that we uncertainty that people don't know, and esports is getting an opportunity to get this done for people. Now back to now back to 7 point no point patch 7. For me, I'm happy because Ivern's getting the buff. Got up now gets a buff, gets the points on the gets a extra damage on the shield, and Daisy's cooldown gets lowered in the mid game.
Oh
That's just me.
yeah.
I'm also
I
also
mean, what do you think that means for? I mean, you're the Ivern player. I played Ivern a little bit. I did okay with him when he was really, really strong. So I will let you elaborate on how you feel about these Ivern changes and what they mean in your games, not like what they mean in pro play. Not because we're talking to players like us. You know what I mean?
it's a low elo heroes. So you all want to be that jukebox hero, but we're not. But anyway,
Jukebox
box
hero.
hero. Yeah, that's it. Then it
Yeah.
Yeah, like for Ivan, all it really does is now is one big damage ability because outside of auto attacks, Ivan's big damage comes from how much he can put into the Athene shield with ardent sensor. The way how that pops off because Athene's gives a portion of I think how much damage taken. I believe like either damage taken or mana used, something like that. Also, your screen went black again. Camera went black. Anyway, you have this ability to do more damage on your shield, which now which you then use as Avery helps with that too. Now you have popped off with Avery or Guardian if you guard or Barrier Guardian if you really feel like doing it. So now you have this. It's like different type of play styles you can use with Ivern, but now you have that shield and with Daisy. So now you have your because Ivern's not meant to go balls deep, so to speak. He's a mi- he's a second liner support. He's not a front line support. Daisy allows him to go to the Daisy goes to the front line to help cover, while Ivan simply's job is trying to cover the back line or the front line depending on how the attack's coming in. Make sense?
Yeah, yeah, no, I totally agree
But
with what you're saying.
my question is like, how does this now play out with new fiddlesticks who now, let's say this. I can see a direct nerf to a direct counter to Ivern is now Fiddlesticks. You don't want you say Then again, anybody that is it because now with the new Fiddlesticks online, he went from being like a scarecrow from Wizard of Oz to like jump scare nightmare fuel.
Nightmare fuel. Like, I mean, I keep on hearing that term, but let's be honest. They probably reworked him and overtuned him, and then he's gonna end up being what?
Hit with the good old fashioned Nerf gun.
Nerf bat. Yeah, you know? They're gonna walk up, wop babaloo wop a lot bam blue.
Him with the tutti frutti. And he'd be out like a light. Yeah, like a light.
Like a light, like a light.
Yeah, that's just some things that I just see. Now, me personally, I'm happy that Fiddlesticks. I'm kind of sad because I missed old Fiddlesticks. Like surprise party was kind of like his best skin because he literally when he always like surprise and you're probably dead. You're
It's like
probably dead.
gotcha.
You're probably dead. Now the question is, will our boys will the Yordles make a new song for him now? Revamp their Tweedledee Twenty Dumb that song for Fiddlesticks, and now it's more he's no longer the happy sweet scarecrow. He's now actually scary. But yeah, that's just some of the things I just see. Um, and that's my rant for the day.
All right. Well, I think okay, so just to do kind of like a what's going on in my games. What I'm noticing, and I mean and I'm just gonna kind of generalize the first half of the season. In the very early part of the season, we saw a lot of engage heavy tank play. Engage tank. That was back when Leona, Nautilus, Braum, Leona, Nautilus, Blitzcrank were pretty much the meta. We saw a lot of that in the bot lane. Um, 80 carries generally didn't matter. If you had a good support and a good jungler, you got ahead. You saw high ganking junglers, like you were seeing the Lee Sins. I saw a lot of and this isn't like low elo. I was seeing a lot of like Lee Sin, Elise players, Rangars, champions that snowball heavy or can like carry from the jungle up until I would say that 25-30 minute portion. Um, but and then of course your mid laners, I would say there was still a focus on certain control mages with like anybody who could kind of abuse Conqueror because this is before they changed how Conqueror worked with range champions. But that's when you had Cassiopeia, Rise. Um, Also Kiana was broken before they nerfed her like 10 times in a row. But now and then top lane, I want to say top lane had more relevance, but the way you had to play top lane changed. It became similar to, I would say, season four. It's very odd. It became very close to like season four, where the TP plays were like necessary. But back then, TP was on like a 4 minute, 3.5, 4 minute cooldown, where now it's on like a 6 minute, 6.5. I don't have the numbers directly in front of me, but I feel like it's close to 6 minutes. So and you can't cancel the TP. So back then you could start up the TP and then you could stop the TP kind of to either create space, or if the people continue to engage, you would complete the TP and attempt to make the play. But now it's kind of like all or nothing. So the top laners had to kind of like make that decision firm. It's like, okay, they're extended, I'm going. And if they back off, this could be a blown. I have to either make the play or I have to beeline back to the top lane. That's why champions like Shen were doing so well, because Shen didn't need to utilize his TP to get down there. He used his ult to get down there and then TP back to his lane without losing much. Now, I would say the difference is and in the top lane, there were a lot of ranged top laners that were kind of doing a lot of damage. But what I noticed over the course of, I would say, last year, because we all know my least favorite year of League of Legends was eight, but season nine, I saw a lot of changes to defensive items that they added the little metric, the little mnemonic of melee for melee, or they would have a differentiator where it's 33% for melee and 20% for ranged, or 50% for melee and 20% for range. And you saw this discrepancy. One of the newest changes that's happened is the Blade of the Rune King. We've seen the changes to Blade, um, where If you're a range champion, you get that 8% health damage, whereas if you're a melee champion, it's 12%. We saw changes to Randuin's Omen. I believe Randuin's armor value went up. I know Frozen Heart's armor value went up. Items like the run at you items, not the shoulder one,
Righteous
the
Glory.
Righteous Glory. Yeah. We know Righteous Glory went, how should I put it? Got a buff. So there are all these changes to the meta that I believe that are now about to kind of like set in and take place. We're seeing champions like Wukong, who just got recently reworked, completely broken. He's way too strong for this game currently. Um, in a sense, he becomes almost unkillable. You need some form of grievous wounds. Um, and even if you see, and the fact that he can like use his knockup twice and his ult gives him stacks of Conqueror, it's becoming like a perfect storm. Changes to some of the keystones, changes keystone masteries, runes, keystone runes. I can't remember what they're actually called. Um, you're seeing this shift. You're seeing this twist in the meta where I thought we were going back to like a high damage, high assassin kind of outplay, but it's really setting into this tank bruiser melee fighter. I think we're gonna see a lot more bruiser tops, tank jungles, and with the strength of enchanter supports and the kind of pushing out of your tank engage supports, which are still good. They still provide a purpose, but your overall value is higher that when you have a Jana, a Nami, a Sona, you have these champions that scale better than just being able to land a hook. Don't get me wrong, a hook is always valuable, a hook is always nice to have. That's like that ace in the hole, but at the end of the day, you're seeing things kind of shift around. And I would even go as far to say if the meta does transition that. Oh, before I get into the meta transitioning in that sense, we're also seeing champions, assassin champion, building bruiser or tankier items while taking conqueror instead of electric. You're seeing again this shift to a higher health pool, longer sustained damage, longer battle, which you would think would be an 80 carries paradise. But the downside is, even though Zed doesn't have electrocute, he still can one shot you if you're on like Kog'Maw or Ash, Misfortune. It's just one of those things that becomes really difficult, I feel, for them to balance because at some point we're going to be running double bruiser bot lanes, maybe a control mage in the mid lane. Maybe you put your 80 carry in the jungle. Maybe everybody's playing Graves and Kindred and stuff. Well, but with the changes that they made to the jungle, we have Morgana, Bran, Gnar, Garen. We have all these other champions that have found viability in the jungle. So,
And
um,
it just changed how there's a new way how guard how the conditioning room works now with Death Dance, and now you're getting raised. And now not only you're taking a level 44 to the head, but now he a thick boy. He
are you
shoot.
talking about my build? Are you talking about my build? Yeah. So basically, I've been abusing the conditioning and revitalize rune on Graves. And then I think like a week ago, I saw a pro guides video
The pro guys video.
yeah, I saw a pro guides video on it, and I was like, man, these people need to hit me up because I'm on it. I am on it. I have a secret that only people who are watching the VOD right now and people who are in this call, meaning Ian and myself, and people who are watching this live will know as of uh, April 1st. This is not an April Fool's joke. Warwick is bugged, and no, and it's not on Reddit. It's not any. Do you know the bug, Ian?
No, but what I do know is the fact that he probably can, with the right setup, he can heal for days.
No. Well, yes, that too. But what I'm saying, he's legitimately bugged right now, and nobody knows. I played a game on him yesterday, and I figured it out because I then went into a test because I noticed something weird was happening when I was playing the game. I was playing with Tim, and I popped off, just point blank popped off. It's a good game, right? So I don't know if it has to do with champions also. I wasn't able to test that. But if Warwick, you know how Warwick can just like you can tap Q to bite and tap hold Q to go through?
Yes, sir. Hey, by the way, Seven even does. Thank you for the follow. I forgot to mention that. Sorry.
Oh, thank you. Feel free to also follow on X King Prime as well. Uh, that's over on this side. I appreciate that too. Get the growth, get the ball rolling everywhere at once. Um, but from what I was able to, hey, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you enjoy the show. But yeah, what I was kind of getting around to is, and see, now you're here now, so you also get to, um,
Secret strat.
yeah, the secret that like it's actually mind blowing. It's not in the bug fixes. It's not in any. It's been, I think it's been in for 2 patches now, and I feel like when I put this out here, it might not be absolutely game breaking, but if you can cheat some wins while this is going on. This is what you get here first. This is why you got to be here in the stream. Hey, what's up, Seven Dust? Thanks for you for the follow. All right, here we go.
Also, if you have any questions, this is AMA, so do ask questions.
Of course, yeah. We're very
Just
engaged.
don't ask this.
We do want you in the chat, like talking. We want you. If you have any questions, feel free.
Just
But
don't.
here
Just don't
we
ask if
go.
he's single.
All right,
Nah.
here we go. So when you tap the Q, you bite, right?
Mm.
When you tap and hold, you go all the way through. If you tap and hold and it kills a minion, it refunds the mana. You can literally have infinite health or infinite mana on Warwick in a lane, in top lane, essentially.
We have a question from my boy Smogden from the I Love Sweetheart, aka my friend Katie from Knoxville, representing the 865. Yay yay! In that number the Tennessee thing. He has a question. How do I stop people being passive little? In other words, how do you stop people being passive supports like me, worse than me, in as when he's ADC, when he's forced to support? Oh, correction.
Wait.
This is
Okay, so
this is his question. And
re-ask the question because it turned into two different questions. So re-ask
okay,
the question.
I'm going to quote this. So Mama don't hit me for this, please. I ain't trying to get in trouble.
You can just censor yourself.
How do I stop people from playing like little passive itches as ADC when I'm forced to support when I'm forced into the support role? Coming from somebody who
Um,
this is a fun
I'll let
question.
Ian answer. I'll let Ian answer first, and then I'll answer because we'll have uh two different, I guess, outlooks. Considering I used to be predominantly an AD carry main for 6 years, and
And
Ian been playing support his entire life. Ian.
sorry, my sister's telling my dog something's wrong with her dog.
Oh,
Big goof. Um, what I like to say is this: I'm somebody who plays passive, but thanks to playing with King for all these years, season 3, he's kind of forced me to have to find the many game times of timeout to the many times of many times of me timeout. Many times he's telling me he forced me to play a little bit more aggressive, but I have to. Most cases when I'm playing AD carry, I'm not trying to trade. I'm not trying to get kills. My goal is to get farm because I know that one, if you farm, I think around 15 farm is a kill. And for my sake, I'm not here to win the game. I'm not here to win the lane. I'm just here to get my items so that way I'm useful because I'm playing a lot of 80 carries that have a lot of utility, not a lot of kill potential. Like even Jin, who's he can pop off if he get a couple kills. I play him more reserved, where I'm just trying to manage waves, keep myself safe, and then when team fights pop off, I either use the final curtain call to set up kills for my teammates, or finish some or finish them like Street Fighter, not Street Fighter like like Mortal Kombat. Which, by the way, I got a group of guys. Fun plug. There's a charity event this weekend that someone in Twitch Kittens is having, where it's a Mortal Kombat PC tournament. If anyone wants to join, they're doing it to raise money. On back to the point at hand. I use my stuff very utility based. King plays the game very aggressive, and he would tell them that probably they need to know what they're doing in the matchup. Because when 80 carry, you guys know about knowing what you can do. Certain lanes you gotta know what you do. For me, I play a lot of passive champions. Like I play Ash, play Sivir. Where champions, I just want to sit back and get my items because I need to be a stat stick to do things. I'm not a lane bully. I'm just here to do what I need to do. Get there. Game would be like, I'm gonna do what I need to get there because my mechanics good. And if I want to take if they run up and they start talking that ish, they gonna get clapped
All
straight
right,
up.
so
They gonna get them cheeks clapped.
I guess to answer your question, from the support role, so
He said 80K
passivity,
roll. He's asking for the 80K roll. Like, how do people stop being
he
passive
wants
80
he
carries?
wants he wants no, he's playing support.
Forward.
He's playing support and he wants his ADs
Play like they
to
got some balls.
play exactly. So passivity comes from either a lack of knowledge or intimidation. So I believe a player will play passively if they don't understand a matchup, if they don't know their when people discuss win conditions, that we're not just discussing how do you win the game. You have to look at win conditions incrementally. Like what is my win condition to get this CS? I know it sounds crazy. It sounds insane. You're like, wait, I have to have a win condition for each CS I get? To an extent, yeah. And even more so, you have to say, what is my win condition to stop this person or to harass this person when they want to get the CS, right? All these little things build up, all these little, like, so, okay, somebody's walking forward to CS. If you walk forward, now they have to make a decision. Do they miss the CS or do they go auto for auto with you? Now, yeah, in the here and now, they might win out by hitting you, you hitting them, but then they miss the 21 gold on the map, right?
Also,
Little things like that will then build up your lead. And as you build up your lead, I believe there's almost an inherent confidence that starts to ramp up. Now when it comes to trying to get the other person, the only way you can make another person do something is if they value or if they believe in you. It depends. So if you're playing Blitzcrank, right? I'm just going to use Blitz as an example. If you're playing Blitzcrank and you miss 6 hooks, one, you're going to be out of mana. I shouldn't even use the number 6. He can't throw out 6 hooks. But if you throw out the 4 hooks, yeah, I was gonna say if you throw out 4 hooks, and you miss all 4 of them, that is not going to put confidence in you. Likewise, if you're playing an enchanter support and you move forward, like you walk forward to harass, like you're playing Janna, you walk forward to hit the person with your W and an auto, and then you lose half of your health. That's not going to encourage your AD carry to believe in you. They're going to go, okay, this is terrible. This is bad. The person that I'm laning with is bad. So you have to have almost a sense or a layer of measured aggression. It's really, really, really difficult to quantify sometimes. Because if you are performing well, you land your hooks, you land your combos, you're putting the enemy lane at a disadvantage, that AD carry player is going to trust in your ability to help to get them to a point where they can carry. One quick thing that I would say is if you get autofilled as the support, don't clickety clack clack clickety clack. Oh my god, auto-filled again. Oh man, auto-filled. Because what that does is one, if they start to underperform, it just gives them a scapegoat. No, never in the history of League of Legends has somebody known that somebody else is auto-filled, done poorly, and then not blame the person who's auto-filled for the reason why they're doing poorly. That just doesn't happen.
it
I'm just
can't
saying
be
that,
my
yeah,
fault if it's yours.
exactly. So that's one thing I never do. If I get autofilled, I will say, hey, if you want to trade, hey, is anybody better at playing support? I'm comfortable in playing it, but I'm just making sure that nobody got autofilled out of support. I frame it kind of like that. So then that way, They're not going, oh, we got an autofill support. Oh, this guy's gonna feed. Oh, this guy doesn't know how to play support. And then when you get in the game, you do what you can again when it comes to executing on your champion so that you garner um that respect to an extent, that lane respect from your lane partner. That's how I would say your best foot forward to getting them to play aggressively. Because what will end up happening is if you land three hooks, right? They're gonna be like, wow, this guy doesn't miss. And because they know you don't miss, the next hook you land, they're gonna go all in. It might only take two hooks. You might just need to hit the first hook. It takes a little bit though, because we're not on voice comms and whatnot. But they're gonna play off of your action. Again, I'm a strong believer that supports dictate the lane, 80 carries dictate the game. I've said it probably since season 4 when they overbuffed supports and Tarek beat me to death at like level 3. I was like, what?
That bring is it,
Oh my god.
man. He get you like granddad.
Oh
The
yeah.
granddad of
And
that white kid in the stove. White kid in the stove.
this is old Tarek where he just like had the point and click stun where he's just like boop and then he's like bop, bop.
It's like,
I was like, what is going on? I can't kill him and he just crushed me.
it's
But yeah, that's what I would say. It starts because I know it feels like the answer should be like they need to do this. They need to play up. They need to be aggressive. They need to do these things. But
King.
at the end of the day, it's not so much about them doing stuff. It's about you doing things to then make them believe in you and follow you. That's why look think about your regular games, right? If your 0-6 Rengar jungle calls for Baron, you're gonna be like, you're an idiot. I'm not following you to Baron. Why?
Listen,
What are you thinking?
unless
No, there's no unless. Shh, there's
no.
no unless. No, stop. There's no unless. But if your 13-1 Rengar is like, let's do Baron, you're like, bet. I'm trying to win this game. Get on this man's back. Let's go. Now you can drop your unless.
I said the unless you just got like a team fight and he blew up the right person at the right time, and then
No. I'm not talking about no situational thing. I'm talking about when you're the confidence that you can instill in others in the game is is purely garnered off of performance. So if you want others to like how should I put it? When you're 0-2 in lane and you're pinging for jungle help and jungle assistance and the jungler never comes to your lane, that's because they don't have the confidence in you that you will be able to capitalize on their help. That's why it's not like don't gank losing lanes, don't gank losing lanes. It's not necessarily don't gank losing lanes. It comes down to from a jungler point of view, it's like your jungler might be 101 or something or 110, right? They see you at 0-2, 0-3, they go, all right, well, if I go up to this lane, it's either going to be a net negative or a slight positive. Because at best, like the best outcome is the gank is executed perfectly. They get the kill, a kill occurs and neither of you die. Because you're behind two or three kills and probably a level, the most likely outcome is there's going to be a 1-for-1. It'll be either your life or the jungler's life. And now the jungler has to kind of go, what do? Do I sacrifice myself and try to help my laner who's shown, not saying that you are or aren't, but has shown a level of incompetency in this matchup, which is like a gamble that nobody wants to take? Excuse me, or do I leave him be to continue to like feed? It's the same thing in the bot lane. You throw out you great example. I was playing a game with a Pike. This person, in my opinion, from what they showed me in the game, did not know what Pike did as a champion. This person would charge up, throw the spear, miss the spear, dash in, miss the dash, I think we're playing against a Vayne, get like condemned into a wall, die, and then spam ping me as to why I didn't magically hit level 18 4 minutes into the game and blow both the support and AD carry up. So you see where that becomes like its own issue. The person he did this like 3 times in a row where he'd miss all of his skill shots jump in the fight, die, and then it was my fault. Now, from the AD carry point of view, I'm looking at this guy at like a whole jackass. I'm just going, okay, so clearly you don't know what you're doing on the champion, and because of your inadequacy, you're now flaming me. You're now attacking me for being reserved and watching you kill yourself multiple times over. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Also, Smockton. Also my boy Seven does, who's also named Ian. He's also from the I Love Sweetheart server. Said this. He misses. He wants to go back to those man mode Targ days
Oh,
when Targ
Jesus.
wasn't support. He was he.
Just play him top lane or play him jungle. That's my also. So I don't know if you were here for the Warwick treat, but that's another tidbit. Tarek, and it might depend on what MMR you are. If you're below like platinum, have fun. If you're literally, and this is the other thing I wanted to get across, especially
I
while
did lose
while
to that.
while we're all like playing League or playing iRacing or playing Rocket League or playing Call of Duty, just have fun with the games that you're playing. Yes, we are invested. We are gamers. We do put a lot of emotion. We put a lot into these games. But remember, please have fun. Please enjoy these things. Because a lot of our escapes have now become a majority of the time or a majority of what we're doing with our free time. But with that being said, um, yes, Tarek top, Tarek jungle, they're very, very strong. Especially if you can insert them into a team that needs it. I play a lot of games right now where I'm seeing, because like I said, I feel like we're about to get into that tank meta. We're about to get into that thick boy meta. But like right now, I am seeing a lot of damage. I am seeing like, Zed. I'm seeing Set does have, some tank ability. Swordy has that like heal and the regen and stuff like that. Wukong. You're seeing a lot of like catch these hands and enchanters and or mages in the bot lane. Um and you may not necessarily have the CC for your team or the peel for your team. I think when the thick boy meta gets going, Tarek's going to be poised in a really really good spot because he's a thick boy enchanter. Like
And
he gets
it's
really, really tanky. He
and
heals and shields, and he has an invulnerability. I
the,
think he's going to be a really,
I
really
think the
strong
issue
pick.
with the Targ is this. He isn't Enchantress. He has one sound little problem. If you want to play him as an Enchantress, you really can't be a tank. Let me explain. Let me
Wait,
fully
wait, wait.
fully explain this one because
Okay, I'll let you explain, and then I'll
pick me
say
apart.
my not pick you. I'll say my piece on what I think happens in this game predominantly.
Okay. I went back as a I told you I had to play a card game where it's like I'm stuck in the game versus people gonna poke me down. Let me just max Q a max Q game. So I'm in a max Q game Tarek, and no, and I had to go. I still kept barrier to do Guardian, right? So I went with the
Mhm.
Guardian, but I went in max Q first, and I built AP healing first. The issue unless like there's not enough damage, not enough like AP scaling enough where you start off the game where you don't walk up and get clapped right there. Also my boy Ian hasn't had fun in 5 years playing the game since beta because the game is going the way it is. But I had to play I still got the thick boy status later in the game, but you don't. But I had to wait out so long, and your camera keeps going in and out.
Oh, I think it might have like a 30-minute timer.
Yeah, so you just have to like move and stuff.
No, no, it's my point and shoot. I think it has a I thought I turned it off, but I even have a pass through battery, like a dummy battery to keep it going. But I might have to mess with the settings a little bit more.
It's all good. I had to max Q I max Q through level 9 and just had to make sure to keep him alive. Now, what you would probably say is this: like, there's a way to like target if target gets to the point where you can max Q first, and he's doing Nami or Sona type of healing. Ryan's gonna take him to the woodshed, like they've taken several other champions, and like they're supposed to do the center and proceed to well do things beat them beat them senseless like with like every able-bodied patron in the bar.
All right. So what I wanted to say, uh, pertaining to kind of like a weird mindset that happens in League of Legends when it comes to just champions. So like we discussed earlier, I've been doing this graves. I basically I call it like infinite healing graves. The only way I lose is if like and not even I lose if I get behind. That's the weird part about the build. If you get too far behind, I mean that's any game. You get too far behind, you lose. But you hit like two items, three items really, and you're like set. Um, you're good to go. Not like set the champion. You're good to go. People get stuck in a we know what's meta, we know what's good, we know what to build. Just look it up. Look what the pros are doing. Look at this. Look at that. And nine times out of ten, they're right. They are. They have people who they pay on their coaches, lane coaches. They have people who for 8 hours a day, for however much they make an hour, go through and min max to the best of their abilities what a good build, what an ideal build is for a character. But I feel like what also ends up happening is the build gets the build hits a point where it becomes the standard and people don't look to innovate because innovation in League of Legends for some reason is has become synonymous with trolling. So if you go and build imagine right now you're like your ideal Taric support build is like you get the support item, you get a Knight's Vow, you get maybe a Randuin's, you get some tank items or something. You start building, you start building tanky. I would say you probably get Locket of the Ion Solari, maybe Mikhail's. You might even go Ardent because he can heal in an AoE. Um, but but let's say you were to and now I'm going to say let's go to a solo lane and then we can try to figure out how we get that solo lane build into the bot lane because in like a solo lane I'm thinking you're probably going to build maybe a Rod of Ages because the thing is Taric's Q, Taric's E scale off of AP and HP, his HP. So in a way you'd want to build him like an AP tank. You'd want the Rod of Ages, you'd want the um Leandries. You probably don't want to Rylai's, but you get my drift. The whole Morellos, these items that have health components as well as AP and damage.
I also I'll take it back to the old ape, the old conversions, deep conversions too. Like and that
Oh,
build,
the old
like
Zeeks.
personally, I saw this with Top Lulu. It's almost you just playing with like Halo Blades, but you pretty much build support until you get that Lich Bane item 5. But if you wanted to play it out, you can play the build where you have mana, then you get mana sustain, you get either more mana, you stack it. So you go Catalyst into Rod of Ages. While you're building your Roa, you're trying to also get tank stats, but you also want to play around the AOE. So I'm thinking Rod of Ages, Sunfire Cape. You know, listen, while you waiting to stack, either you go with the tier stacking build, which makes it be a lot of fun, or you go Rod of Ages into Sunfire Cape because you need combat stats.
All
You know,
right. So then what I would say is now let's try to figure out how we can kind of finagle that solo queue or that solo lane build into something that he be able to utilize in the bot lane. So, or as a support. So as a support, yeah, you're gonna want your support item, right? But then what's to say that once you because now you don't have to buy your support item. You just buy the first item and then it builds into your finalized support item. Why not rush a Roa? Why not make Roa your
because then
first item?
you're missing out on I think for me, you're missing out on combat stats, especially if you get stuck in the lane where you have to destroy them before they hit that point. As you said, just because you're down on CS or down a kill, if they're still farming on level with you, you didn't beat them. Like there's times where
That's champion dependent, but I do understand what you're saying.
it's
But that is
times you
champion.
told me that because I didn't stomp the snot out of them, or clap them cheeks like I was supposed to when I had the window.
Yep. I mean, yeah, but like I said, that is champion dependent. I always use the
It's
whole like Vayne, Cassidy, and Kale. it like you get to the end, you get it to the end of the game, and the person that won lane, there's always that person that like, oh, I won my lane. How did you guys throw? There's always that idiot on the enemy or on your team that gets upset when the game goes catastrophically wrong. When the Cassidy who they stomped in lane only maybe died one time or didn't die at all, but was down like 30 CS. But that doesn't matter because once he hits 16 and has like 3 items, he two shots the rest of your entire team.
Listen, or you didn't take
It's
that.
like scaling is a major factor into this game. But before we get completely sidetracked, going back to the whole idea of like as you brought up, you have to like beat them or you're in a power trough, right? So being in that trough, I think is okay for Tarek because he's a support. Like Ezreal, and I mean, and the thing that he provides as a support isn't necessarily hindered by being in a power trough. It's not like Tarek isn't blowing people up. You know what I mean? Tarek is stunning people, and Tarek is
Shield.
shielding and healing people.
And
So,
then just for the good
like if
measure,
you like
he's
if you were playing Brand and you got the support item and rushed it and rushed Rod of Ages, then yeah, you'd probably be doing yourself a disservice because you need to get that damage ramped up a little sooner so that you can start collecting those Dark Harvest stacks, start snowballing, start going. But as Tarek, if the game snowballs 9 times out of 10, it's not because of Tarek. You know what I mean? Like
it's like
Tarek
I was
isn't
there
the
helping.
sole reason.
Like
Yeah,
I was
Tarek isn't
helping.
the reason why they snowballed. He aided in the snowballing, but he's not the sole reason. Whereas like a support brand can get like a quadra kill, be up 5-1 or something, and now you have two mid laners.
Yeah. Also, listen, that's pretty cool. Listen, actually, let's take a break because we've been going strong for about an hour. Let's take a second break. Just get some station identification and let's get some ad revenue real quick, and we'll be right back right after the 30-second break here. This is the Eye on Esports
You said
podcast.
60. I'm doing a 60.
Doing 60.
Yeah.
It's the Eye on Esports podcast. We'll be back in 60. And we are back. I'm back. Thank you guys for the little break here. Just had my leak. As everybody knows, finally the patch where the star, not the Star Guardian skin we wanted, but it's the one we unfortunately deserve, is out today. So, ladies and gentlemen, just to show you out, yes, he's alive. Star Guardian cosplay skin is alive. Yay!
Oh, you're talking about the Star Guardian Urgot skin
Yes,
that came out?
that's what I said. The skin we don't want. We didn't want it, but it's the skin we unfortunately just.
Yeah, it's a pajama party cosplay Urgot. But my question is, who is he cosplaying?
It's real.
I don't think that's Ezreal.
The blue and white is Ezreal's.
Star Guardian.
But it's like, yeah, I think Smog also says
Okay,
this.
so yeah, no, that's not what So hold on, let me see. Maybe it's a pajama one.
Drama.
Pajama.
Yeah. Lux is red.
Hmm.
Lulu's green. Jinx, Jinx is pink.
Okay. All right. So he is cosplaying as Star Guardian
Yes.
Ezreal,
Yes.
which means these Star Guardians are superheroes
Yes.
in your
Is
world.
it? Is it? They're the league's anime, not copyright anime. It's a sailor suit anime wearing champion.
Oh yeah, no, duh. I get that, but I was just saying within the world of Runeterra, I guess what I was referring.
They're the magical girl genre now,
Okay,
which is still funny because like one of these
so that means Urgot is a fan of Ezreal.
makes no sense. Logic when you need to make riot. Yeah, Seven Dust went ahead and said that this is a pajama. He's wearing the pajama Israel skin that he's wearing, and Smogden said earlier that I'm an idiot. I win lane all the time, but I'm better than bronze players I go against. But my teammates feed like it's Thanksgiving. I'm like,
Okay,
well,
so who's that? You said
Smogden, Smogden,
Ogden.
yeah,
I would say for Ogden, I hate to say
Smog,
it.
Smog.
Oh, Smogden. I hate to say it. Um, anything I would say again, talking like diamond down, so diamond four, so plat one down, myself included. If you're not putting yourself in a position to carry, you're not. You're also not going to be able to carry a team. It sucks. I hate it when I lose. I hate it in games that because I'm the person that feels like 90% of games are winnable. That 10% that's impossible is just that. It's a minority. Or if you want to be even more like balanced, the 30-30-30 rule, you get 30% that are going to be freebies. You get 30% that are going to be so it's 33.3333, 33.3333, 33.333. But 30-30-30 is just like an easy way to kind of break it down. Um 33 or 30% you're going to win, 30% you're going to lose, and 30% are up to you. Simple as that. I've used the same metric in life when it comes to interacting with people because there are some people that you meet and you like them. There's some people you meet that and you hate them, and there's some people that meet that you're in between, and however your interaction with them go kind of dictate how you feel about them going on, right? So when it comes to League of Legends, when it comes to your games, 30% of your games are free wins. You will carry, you will get carried. The enemy team will have an AFK. They will troll. Somebody will say something in champ select, somebody will ban somebody else's champion, and somebody will run it down. The other 30% of the games, all that stuff that I just mentioned will happen to you, right? That's just the way of the game, right? And then there's the third of the game that nobody ever seems to want to focus on. Nobody focuses on the 33% that you win, you get the free wins. You know, the 4v5s where you're on the team with five, you know? People always remember the 4v5s where you're on the team with five and lose, but you never remember the game where you're on the 4v5, 4v3 and they open mid and you win at 12 minutes or something. Nobody ever remembers those. But that last 30%, last 33.3333 remaining percent is literally up to you. And it's those games that you have to make as much of an impact and influence as you can to win. If you're not doing everything that you possibly can in those games to win, and a lot of time it's of no fault of our own except for our attention. We play countless numbers of games throughout the season. We're playing people who want to grind, people who want to climb, people who want to grow. You're playing upwards of 100, 200, 400, 600 games in a season. And if you're doing well, you got to think about it. If you're doing well by Riot's margin, well, okay, you win half of your 600 games. That means you've lost 300 games and you've won 300 games, right? Which is insane. 50-50. If you were to those are black shit, not black. Those are roulette odds versus red and black. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's a coin flip. It's 50-50. You are essentially gambling with your time, let alone your elo, your RP or LP or whatever you get from winning the game. But the difference is if you when you see those good players, those top tier players that have 70% win rates, 81% win rates. I don't think I've ever seen higher than like 85% on a high elo like higher than diamond count like a masters or grandmasters. I'm sure like the duos like when Tarzan and it was Tarzan and the Rye and not Risk. It was Tarzan and the Kennen player where when they had like a perfect win rate all the way up to diamond and stuff like that. Like those kind of people are actually just full blown smurfing. Tarzan, the greatest jungler on our server. Risk, the best Kennen one trick. Not Risk, but the guy. I keep on saying Risk because I watched the video that Risk did on the Kennen player. I just can't remember the Kennen player's name. Um, Risk is a Garen one trick, by the way, who's also very, very good. Uh,
So I'm
but
brings this question.
wait. Let me just close out this idea for your friend, and then you can bring your thing up. But again, it comes down to that last 33%. You you just have to do your best. And in that 33% or 30%, then you can coin flip the 50-50. Because you already have 50-50 winning, losing, right? So then you want to push that 50-50 to 60-40, 80-20. If you can, if you're really on a roll, if you're on a tear, if you figure out the champion that you want to play, you get in a pattern, you get in a groove, you're reading your opponents well, you're reading the map situation, the play situation, you understand your team, you can turn that into a 70-80 percent win rate. It's hard if you do it. I mean, I'm sure if we were like you mentioned your bronze or whatever your bronze teammates, your bronze opponents, I'm sure if we were to drop you into Iron 4, you would dance circles around them and not even bat an eye. You'd go, these kids are bad. These kids are real bad, right? And as you get better, every time you get better, you'll just look back at the group behind you and be like, wow, these kids are bad, because you'll understand what it takes to move from step to step, what you need to do when it comes to winning that last 33%. Like throw me in iron right now, and I'll make it out of iron in probably a week. Real talk. I might even do a challenge like that for YouTube or something, where I get one of my Smurf accounts to Iron 4, or just a brand new account and just do my best to play APZ and see how far I can climb down to Iron 4, and then from there pull my way out of Iron 4 and see how fast I can do it. Because in my head, yes, it will be difficult, but give me a week where maybe I'm playing 5 to 10 games every day, every other day. I think it should be doable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bronze, bronze, same thing with bronze for me. Silver, top of silver gets a little tricky because I'm comfortably a gold player vying for platinum. You know what I mean? I think the other part of it is a lot of people believe or think that they are, oh, I deserve, I belong. When you like for me, it took me a really, really long time. I am not a Challenger Pro LCS player. I am a gold player. Point blank period. I get to gold comfortably every season. I think there's one season where I played like 100 games and didn't get the gold, but I get the gold relatively easily. It's not a difficult margin for me. Getting the platinum is where I have to grind. I have to kind of analyze the game in a different way. I have to think about it constructively and think about different angles and stuff.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ian.
Oh. So my boy, so we have a correction. In roulette there is green. It's not 50-50 because you do have green on the wheel. And Ian also says this. Like I think the reason that 33% of rostering is
So
frustrating.
40, 49 point, what is it? 49.25, 49.25 and point 0.5. You got me.
This again,
You got me.
he wasn't a math major. He spends records on the weekends when he's not doing customer service, y'all. But check him out at DJ Bad Weekend. Is it to hook you up any of your parties on up on the up east side of the East Coast? Hit him up when
I
you get a chance.
appreciate it.
Anyway, back to the point at
No, no,
hand.
yeah, I was saying, what? No, what was the other point that you were about to bring up? You're reading something about
Yes,
the 30.
my Ian says this. I think the reasoning for the 33% of losses are frustrating and third wins are great or unsatisfying. The 33 split is kind of hard fought, but it can be exhausting. But a lot of time, a lot of time that goes into the par feelings, and I think Ian believes that thinks that it tells people there isn't much feeling accomplishment for most players. Like when you have these games where like, oh cool, I got free elo. I didn't earn it. Or, "Oh, great, I just lost. I just got demoted." Listen, played well, gets demoted. And it's like and then you have these games where, like, a lot of people you look at the 66% of either the extremes, like, somehow how my personality is and some like, I go from one extreme to the other. I'm like or I'm like a manic depression like someone with manic depression someone with manic depression. You,
Mhm.
you you forget about that one third of games where it's like, okay, this is what we all the world like worlds, the games we all wanted worlds. We wanted Fun Plus Phoenix versus G2, and we wanted this best of five hand it's a throwing them hands best of five where those games are hard fought. It turns to be a
I mean, y'all wanted Fun Plus Phoenix versus G2. I just wanted G2 and SKT in the finals, but
it's a
we all saw SKT get clabapped
it's a
in
eh,
the semis.
it's a man it's a man. But as you see, what happened is them cheeks got clapped. G2 cheeks got clapped
The
and
sure,
clapped
show enough did.
hard.
Show enough did.
And our boy Doing B finally was rewarded for not quitting League of Legends. Also,
I mean,
Smalding,
super carry doing B.
yes. Also, Smalding says this: I can't win in Iron Four either. I do have Iron Four account, but I can't win in a win on that account. I think because the
If you want, if because I mean, you're Ian's friend, I'm Ian's friend. If you want to, if you trust me, let me play on that account for a week, please, please.
like the thing
If
about
I can't get out of iron in a week, then so be it. Because I'm not saying I'm going to do it in like 30 games or anything. Because I feel like I'm not TF Blade. You know what I mean? I'm not rank one. I'm just a dude that, like I said, comfortably makes it to gold. So I need that time to figure out because I personally believe every I think every MMR has a meta, and people try to follow the meta that's up here in pro play because that's the one that's most seen, or the meta that's in platinum plus, which is seen on statistic sites and stuff like that. But it's like when you're in iron, bronze, and even in silver, like there's a cutoff point, I would say in silver, silver 3 to silver 2, where playing lead, like I'm not afraid of an iron 4 Yasuo. I'm not. There's just like an Iron for Yasuo. I would love to play against an Iron for Yasuo. I'm more fearful of the rest of my team in Iron 4 than I am of the Iron 4 Yasuo that I'm playing against. The difference being when I get to like gold 2, gold 1, I am terrified of that gold 1 Yasuo because that gold 1 Yasuo could just be a plat, oh, I just dropped out of platinum. I was plat 2 or plat 3. I was almost plat 2. So this person has a bunch of games on. They understand the champion. They understand what they need to do to win. They understand their win condition on their champion and generally having a better idea of what to do. When I'm in like bronze, like I had um like two accounts this season, but in bronze, I found it easy to like basically not troll, but like not do well for I would say 20 minutes, and then from like 25 minutes on, win the game. Again, that's just one of those things where I'm comfortable in the lower MMR and being able to pull myself out and win and stuff like that. Whereas when it's the other way around, where it's um as I get to the point where I struggle and find difficulty, I need to try to figure out how I can get better. I get to, we all have our frustration. You got to think, even people like Sneaky and Double Lift and Xpeke and all those guys, they hit a point where they're like, yeah, I'm a pro player, but I'm grinding to reach rank whatever, insert whatever the rank is. Like I want to reach rank one. I think Yankos. Yeah, I think Yankos was the rank one jungler in EU, or not rank one jungler. He was rank one in EU. While uh the EU LCS was going on, or LEC was going on. So everybody has the goals that they set, and we kind of do it to ourselves by burdening our own like mental space of like, oh man, my team is so bad. It's like, yeah, your team is bad because they're iron. Yeah, they're gonna be bad. Like I don't know what to tell you. They're gonna be like trash. Like, but just like when you get the bronze, your teams are gonna be bad. And when you get the silver, your teams are gonna be bad. You wanna know when your teams aren't bad? When you're not playing a ranked queue and you're playing with your friends and you like your friends and you're having a good time. That's the only time your teams are bad. And even then, your teams could still be bad, but it doesn't matter.
Speaking of
like
that,
like
this brings
I got ran over in Clash this past weekend. Completely ran over in Clash. But it
but
didn't matter because I was playing with friends. I was playing with people that I like. So I didn't look at it as like, oh my god, these guys suck. Blah 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 blah. I looked at it kind of like, well, you know what? I learned what I can do better next time. And people don't have that same mentality. They don't have that same outlook when they're playing with four randos. It's easier to duo queue too. I'll say that. I don't know if you're just playing solo, but if you have a friend, like playing with someone where you can talk to them or you guys have a chemistry or relationship, how they say to the person who tried the 1v9 team game, the O and 10 Maokai that just CC'd the entire enemy team. So who has a really big, so Vel'Koz could laser everybody to death, still gets to go team game. That's all I'm saying. You gotta find, you gotta pick and choose your battles. You gotta find what makes you grind through the game in like a healthy, positive kind of way. Like for me, I joke all the time, but there's always truth in comedy. I hate this game, but I have fun with the friendships and the people that I've met through it. So I play with them regardless of whether we're winning or losing. Yes, I tilt off the face of the world, believe that, but at the same time, that's part of my personality. I'm just a passionate person. We're doing
it's
a talk show and I'm getting like
it's it. Yeah. Also, plug, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget the Clash. Clash is the 11th and the 12th this month, ladies and gentlemen. Get your teams together for Clash. Let you know, Super Hot Crew will be taken, or the Copenhagen Wolves will be taken by me and King,
That's fun.
or one or two. So you can't pick those names unless you're in EU. Then you can go ahead. So I do want to see a team from EU bring that out. Bring out the EU LCS days when you have to
Oh yeah,
qualify to get in. But yeah, so I'll be taking we'll be taking our super hot crew back out for a spin to clap those cheeks in tier 4.
that's funny. Yeah, like I said, the only times you're gonna have a good team is when you have a group of people that you don't care about them being good or bad. That's my opinion. Like
That
and like I said, the 33.3.
camera.
I know I'm fixing it.
Oh, that
And
brings me
and the
another question.
other 33.3% where you're gonna get carried, right? There's that section, and then yeah,
Then is the third three section where okay, it's a noodle wet noodle fight. First person to first person noodle to break loses. It's
yeah, pretty much.
But I think the one thing you mentioned is the fact that, and we mentioned on the last show. For those who know, we did a show early. We did one episode, the first episode, which was me on a rant video.
Pretty good
I,
rant,
I
but
was on a boat. I
sadly,
was on a boat, right?
but sadly, I did not have my audio settings queued correctly. So he came. If you watch the VOD, Ian sounds like this, and you can't really understand what he's saying.
And I
And
had
I
to.
sound like this, and it's
Oh, so
Oh,
this
by the way, when Seven Dust, when you came over to the stream, was the audio sounding correct?
is
Could you
Ian. He's
hear?
also Ian.
Yes,
He's Katie's Ian. Like Katie's my I'm her black brother. But Kate
fair.
but that Ian is her Ian.
Like her boyfriend, Ian,
No,
is
friend Ian. Like
okay.
she knew that Ian
I
before she knew
mean,
me.
that's fine. I'm just gonna call him Seven Dust. All right.
Listen,
Also,
like
because I this is a complete sidetrack tangent. I once got backstage at, I think it's called Uproar Fest, because security thought I was the lead singer of Seven Dust. That was just really really cool. I was basically backstage of like a bunch of metal bands for like an hour because they thought I was the lead singer of Seven Dust, which is really really funny to me. But like I said, that's just a side tangent. I didn't even think about
I,
that when I saw your name until I
you,
said it out loud.
last show we brought this up, and I kind of want to get you guys' opinions, guys. If also side note, we don't have chat connected. We're not partnered where we can do a duo stream, and I probably should have set it up to be a co-stream. That's what we should have set this up as a co-stream.
I, I don't think we can do that until you're partner,
Yeah,
unless they
unfortunately.
changed it to affiliate.
They rolled it out. They're
But
supposed to be rolling it out to us sooner or later, which means
which is fine.
by next TwitchCon, It,
If you are on my stream, please feel free to go over to VG Race Crown stream and
it's
support
just
him.
Restaurant 21.
Race Crown 21 to twitch.tv/ Race Crown 21. And if you're on his stream, feel free to drop over here and give me a follow. So then that way you don't miss when either of us go live.
That
Also,
we'll have a schedule by the end of by the end of the night. I on esports podcast will be posting.
by
Uh,
the end of the week, we'll
and,
have a schedule. I got some things to attend to. I was gonna say we should wrap it up here shortly. We've been going for about an hour and a half.
it's a
And I don't want the VOD to be too long.
it's a podcast. It's just the fun of a podcast. You just listen to it like a radio. But
True,
anyway,
you can, but like I said, I have to attend to some things.
oh yeah. See, he has what you call the life, where I don't have the life. I just
He's
have a
doing air
job.
quotes for all you audio listeners. But
but I was like we
I
brought it up
guess
like
final thoughts would be
wait, because I
um
got to finish this.
hmm?
'Cause
Oh, okay.
like um yeah. So we brought it up earlier. Also Ian loves the fact that he does seven dust. He's seen him 7 times. Like little the LG, he's seen him downtown before. Like
All
these guys in the
right.
band. But I kind of want to bring this up because like I kind of want to. I don't want to lose my thought. Because we brought some up the last episode about how comp play versus online play is two different things, and how the fact that the online ladder doesn't reward people outside of playing in solo queue. Flash gives you like a nice little thing to look forward to.
Okay, so
Sure,
you kind of zinged in and out on that one. So you're saying when we discussed the difference between coordinated, like
play.
professional coordinated play versus your solo queue games?
hmm And
Okay.
we brought out how how the online ladder, like how league does their new player find new players. They do it out of picking people out of the solo queue ladder, but they don't. It used to be back in the day where you can play with your friends in a group of people and climb up on the rank ladder. We don't have a rank ladder for teams, and Flex is too troll happy where you don't have that. Okay, your best flex teams, like your best flex team slash team five teams go head on this ladder trying to go fight for this. Now your class allows you to play as five, and you got a coordinated play. But as you said, even with Ivan, coordinated play is different from online play, which is different from LAN play, and a lot of stuff that's different depending on what you're doing. What we want to see probably coming out of the probably next episode, we'll get to finish this. Hopefully, we'll have both of my friend Katie, maybe Katie may be able to join us because she's had that elo. She has that high elo experience from trying to compete with Team Siren back in the day, and some of her work there. But you notice the fact that there's a big difference, and I would really like to see how in this last 15 minutes that before we finish up the stream because we got no 12 some minutes to finish this out because I want to get at least 2 hours after every episode. But what I want to see is like we'll talk more about how we can fix this, like how they can fix competitive play, or in this case, comp play, where you're now compete playing with a group of people and help fix some of the issues that we see when you're playing by yourself and
Well,
online.
you I think up front, uh oh, Smogton, thank you for the follow. I did not even hear the sound go off.
He
Do
f-
I have my
he forgot that I had it posted on the overlay.
Oh, I
Oh,
appreciate it, brother. Thank you for the follow. Um, how should I put it? I feel that Riot has done everything, and there was a point in time where competitive play looked completely different than online than solo queue. We'll just say competitive play versus solo queue. That's back when lane swaps were a thing. And lane swaps took a high level of coordination, very high level of coordination between um within the play, because you would have to know how to manage the wave to push it, and then have it stack. So then when you rotated, you could feed a whole three wave stack to one person, either your AD carry, your mid lane, or however you were rotating around. And they had the Australian lanes where you'd have them start off in top lane versus bot lane, two v1 lanes. And it became just something that was unrecognizable to a common person who played League every once in a while and then turned on the LCS to see Maokai laning against I don't know, Jin Karma or something, right? Like that's not how our LCS, that's not how our solo queue games look. So Riot took it upon themselves to nerf things from the top down to make the top better match the bottom, or the middle at least, so the average player base. Um, so hence why like lane swaps aren't effective due to the tower resistances, um, and incentivizes a dual lane staying in the bot. Dragon, the fact that we're in season 10 and Dragon doesn't randomly spawn between the Baron Pit and the Dragon Pit still blows my mind. Still blows my mind. Like I think I thought of that like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago. I was like, oh, well, so now that they're changing the jungle, this is like back when they had like when you used to smite the camps, they'd give you different properties. Like you would smite the wolf camp, and little ghost wolf would like follow you around and stuff, or like follow the other people around. Season five.
season 3 to 5. That was on the spirit of the specters. That's what.
No, I'm talking about. I'm
No,
talking
no, that's
specifically the
right between
smite.
season 3 to 5. They stopped it
Yeah.
after season. They stopped it.
But regardless, yeah, I was like, well, now that they're doing all this fun, different stuff in the jungle, it'd be smarter, like if we were to alternate or do something, because you're incentivized to camp bottom half of the jungle,
in the
because
in the mid laner.
bottom lane, mid lane, because you're back then the dragon used to give gold, and now the dragon gives all these crazy buffs. Well, now the buffs up, but last season the buffs were broken. Last season, wonderful. But this season they give you I when I play a perfect jungle game, I get like that 24, 26 minute, really it's like 26 minute um soul that leads to like a 30 minute hair soul 30 minute, what is it called?
Baron.
The Elder Dragon.
Is it the end game the end game?
Yeah, yeah, the
We call
Thanos Dragon.
so patented as the Thanos dragon.
Yeah, the Thanos Dragon, right? Um so a lot of times even now, as much as Riot has tried to force competitive play to look like solo queue, we still aren't so look at voice is only able to be utilized between the
Pre-made,
two people who the two
pre
pre-mades, right?
pre-made, or is it anytime it's pre-made games? But
So what happens? You get your pre-made. They know what they're gonna do. You might have another pre-made. They know what they're gonna do, and then you're gonna have like one other person who's just gonna do whatever they want to do.
hashtag team
There's
TSM. He's the team
oh,
solo mid. He's the solo mid.
all right. So now we're looking at a structure where uh it's coordinated, but it's like a disjointed coordination. you'll have your, let's say it's just a dual bot lane, a jungle and a mid laner, and then the top laner is solo, solo top lane, right? Uh the top laner is kind of stuck in their own way, where it's like, okay, I'm not going to get any help from this jungler who's going to probably camp mid lane because that's their duo, and I'm just going to have to like do whatever I have to do to try to win. And the bot lane is going to be like, hey, we're doing this duo thing. We're going to focus on us to get us ahead because we're the duo here. And also, there was a time where you could look up who was duo and who wasn't, and Riot removed that. And I used to think that, I personally thought that was helpful because then it would let you know, oh, jungle mid or duo, oh, jungle top or duo, mid top or duo. You'd be able to kind of go, and I'm saying looking at the enemy team, you can always just ask your team, but looking at the enemy team, you'd be able to figure out, okay, so they're gonna maybe try to play around. It give you another layer of strategy. Um, but as they, like I said, they're continuing to kind of push away from solo, or they're trying to push towards a solo queue type game, but not implement all the things that are necessary to condone it or run it as such.
And for me, that kind of screws it up because again, solo queue doesn't mean skill to me. If this is supposed to be a team game, and we got like we got 10 minutes, got less than 10 minutes, so let's wrap the show up going into our
No, I
point.
mean, just you
It's,
finish your point.
it's
That's
like
fine. Finish your point.
what we want to make sure that I want to get across. This is a team game. It doesn't matter if you go 20-0-4 or 4-0-20, or in some cases I have gone 4-20-30 ARAM games. Point being is
My rank games, but keep on going.
the point being is this: you only go up LP, up MMR, down MMR, down LP, up happy mood or down happy mood on wins and losses. Game's not based upon stats. And that's like the team portion of this game. Like this is not Call of Duty where it doesn't matter what your stats are. Like my friend Chastity only plays with people who has a set. She plays 2K. As you know, I'm a part of 2K community. Um, but and that's a totally different broken problem as is. But he only plays with people with 7% win rate because he believes win rate has a contingency on I guess a contingency on how well you play the game. Not your stats, but how you play the game, like wins and losses. And for me, wins and losses don't tell the whole story, especially when you're not, especially when especially when you play, when you're not in agency modes where you're not the one carrying. Like Faker doesn't sometimes doesn't need help. It used to be a point where Faker didn't need help in a game. He just did Faker things. But in team rank play, if you got Faker ahead, it's it's a wrap, fam. Unless Faker messed the mechanic up, it's OD, man. It's over with. It's over with. It's it's over because Faker ahead, especially on LeBlanc when Blanc was busted. DFG, rip DFG,
The fire graphs, yeah.
rip. Thank God those things gone. Thank God that's gone. Anyway, thank God that's gone. The point being is point you get him ahead, it's over with. The game's over because you got someone who can get ahead and carry and stomp everybody. And a solo queue ass mindset when you have people treating a team game like it's, oh, I'm playing with people, but I don't have to be a team player. That doesn't help anybody. Like even in my rank games, I'm still dropping Discord links trying to get people to play. Side note, ladies and gentlemen, if someone happy to drop a Discord link, use it. Use technology. Do not be like Patrick and we have technology. Proceed to slam the table on the dollar bill. It's like don't do that. Come on. This is 2020. We have technology. We have voice comms. We've proven that you can win better on voice comms, especially if you manage to hold your composure and you don't treat people like little pieces of amphibious horse.
Crap.
Yes, it's a Sergeant Hartman. I was core Sergeant Hartman on that one. Rest his soul. Rest his soul on
I
that one.
think I think I think another part of it is like So when you're utilizing those voice chats and things like that, it humanizes the other person, the other people you're playing with. When you're playing with a character sprite, the anonymity behind that makes it a lot easier to go off, to pop off, to be like, "Oh, you useless, such and such. Oh, you trash, such and such. You monka s this and that." Right? It makes it really, really, really easy to do that. But when somebody's just like, "Damn, I thought I had that. I thought I had that play. Yo, my bad." And you're like, "Yo, bro, it's all good. We got this." Like there's a
It
the
becomes a
human component like just takes over. Now, yeah, everybody you might hit the point if you're losing, you might hit a point where like it becomes the Cold War and everybody's just like tense because nobody enjoys losing. But
it's a
because there's that human element, people don't just fly off the handle,
except
you
you.
know.
Except it's me.
I mean, you don't fly off the handle to random people in voice comms. If you're doing that, then you shouldn't be dropping voice comms in the game. You should just probably play in isolation and just play bots for the rest of your days.
But
But
listen, the point I'm making, the point I made was this. Um, is it I would definitely like to see just like our spring split discussion. We'll probably recap it for those. King wants to delete it. I want spring split to be about the tournament stuff we covered earlier. Go back and look at that. The team split. We want to go back and cover that. I just want to see voice implemented on all five level on solo queue, and I also want to see Clash to be the tipping point for rank 5 play, and let flex matter again. Right now, it doesn't. Outside of practicing for Clash, it doesn't matter much, except unless you want to get the gold. Unless you want to get a free trip, a free icon to get in the gold. It doesn't really matter to most people because everyone's like
I mean,
solo.
I hear people say that all the time, but I don't see too many people with the gold flex icon.
But yeah,
Anyway, that was just my joke. Want to give a big thank you for everybody who tuned in, everybody who stopped by. I said thank you for stopping here on the between the lanes
and
with
I don't eat on podcast.
Yep, Ion Esports. Here over at X King Prime at twitch.tv, as well as Race Crown 21 at twitch.tv. Yeah, thank you. You also have a good night, Smog. And again, thank you for the follow. I appreciate everybody who decided to follow this evening. Thank you. Feel free to again follow the I think in the doobly doos, I have like the YouTube and the Twitter and the Instagram and all that other stuff. Feel free to follow some of that. This video will be going up if you guys want to recap or if you feel free to clip anything as well. We really do appreciate you. Uh, as we continue to try and grow and keep this going, we hope to see you guys and hope to grow this community and be able to do well.
Yep. So I just want to thank you guys. Like I have the credits rolling on my side for all the new finals, all the stuff. But the one thing that we'll probably look for the next episode, we'll probably hope to have our first ever guest. We've cleaned this up to the point where we can figure out how to put 3 people in this DM call because I don't know. We get the 3 DM call and get the special guest going through. Hopefully, we'll have it posted. Definitely have a schedule by the end of the week. I want to thank my boy King for actually allowing us to shoot this episode. I know it's like 12 o'clock for him. He got things he got to do with his kitty and his lady. He got stuff to do. I got work to do in the morning. Thank you guys for coming out. Really do appreciate it. Smogden, Ian from is it Ian from I Love Sweetheart from I Love You Sweetheart, aka my girl Katie. Thank you for coming out. Um, we're supposed to make this a weekly show. We'll also try to have some weekly content have on to help his page out. And I'm just here for the ride. Hopefully, next episode we'll cover more of what happened and happened this week, next week next week in sports, and how the transitional sports bring some cool stuff up, and hopefully maybe make the radio. On that being said, I'm gonna run the credits. Thank you guys for everything. King, any final words before we roll these credits real quick?
A big thank you. Make sure that you're taking the time to message, talk to, contact the people that are important to you, especially during this time where we're socially distancing ourselves and we're maybe not in contact physically with people. I really wish they would call it physical distancing because that's what we're doing. We should be more social than ever. We should be in reaches and in contact with everyone who we hold in our life. Text your mom, text your dad, call them, and then wash your hands. Yeah, that's
He
all
said,
I gotta
and
say.
most importantly, take a shower. Wash your butt, please. Wash your butt, brush your teeth, please. The people will thank you. People you're living with will thank you. Ain't that right, King?
Oh yeah.
Wash
All
yourself.
right.
Wash your teeth. Brush your teeth. Wash your butt. Use antibacterial soap. Like I said,
Peace.
this is the Island Esports podcast. The credits be rolling. Thank you guys for everything, and we'll be out.